that's going to college that becomes a multi-billionaire almost instantaneously, what other options do you think that the person has, right? I mean, do you think that he's really going to be a conservative? No, he's probably engulfed with these leftist lunatics that are in Silicon Valley. So I gave him a slight pass for it because I don't think necessarily he was calculated and evil. I do think, however, he was convinced that the social justice warrior mentality was the right way to think. However, after hanging around Dana White and UFC, y'all can go back and look at some of my old videos. I predicted it. I said, if the guy is going to hang around people like Dana White in the UFC, which is just riddled with conservatives, if he's going to be doing mixed martial arts and fighting himself, riddled with conservatives, at some point, the young, impressionable Zuckerberg is going to open his eyes up and say, wait a minute, what I've been doing has been delusional. Now, y'all know I got to be fair, balanced, and impartial. That's one side of it. The other side of it is that Donald Trump ain't playing with y'all. And everybody that censored the public and that did all of the nefarious things that they did, you're going to be in trouble when they implement the people that are going to be on the side of the American people. Kesh Patel and some of these other individuals that are conservative that are going to hold your feet to the fire, you're going to start seeing people act right. Because censoring Americans, colluding with the government to overturn an election is not legal. And so the one side is that I think he's waking up and realizing that he's probably he probably should be a conservative and that these leftists are lunatics and nutty. And then on the other side, it could be the fact that he don't want to go to jail. He don't want to ruin his entire empire because of what he had previously done, right? He addressed the fact checking, and then not long before that, he apologized and admitted that the government kind of forced his hand into cutting off people and claiming it's false information with the Fauci ouchie. So let's put the Zuckerberg clip up here real quick. It's a 5-minute clip of him addressing the public. See, look at, when I seen him in person, I said, he is worth $100 billion. What am I doing wrong? This is the nerdiest guy in the room. It's worth $100 billion or something crazy. It's insane. But, you know, he got a little swag. He got his little T-shirt with the chain and stuff. Man, he kind of funny, man. He used to be super corny, man. But you got to think he came from that environment. Little college kid in a dorm room making you Facebook. Anyway, roll the clip.
Hey, everyone. I want to talk about something important today because it's time to get back to our roots around free expression on Facebook and Instagram. I started building social media to give people a voice. I gave a speech at Georgetown 5 years ago about the importance of protecting.
Hold on. You didn't stop it. I'm going to go back so y'all can get it from the beginning. I just want to stop right there. You did not build social media for people to have a voice. Let's keep it real. You build social media in a way in which people think they have a voice. You build social media for harvesting data and getting people's information and selling it. That's why you did it. That's why it's so lucrative. Roll back.
Free expression. And I still believe. Hey, everyone. I want to talk about something important today because it's time to get back to our roots around free expression on Facebook and Instagram. I started building social media to give people a voice. I gave a speech at Georgetown 5 years ago about the importance of protecting free expression, and I still believe this today. But a lot has happened over the last several years. There's been widespread debate about potential harms from online content. Governments and legacy media have pushed to censor more and more. A lot of this is clearly political, but there's also a lot of legitimately bad stuff out there. Drugs, terrorism, child exploitation. These are things that we take very seriously, and I want to make sure that we handle responsibly. So we built a lot of complex systems to moderate content. But the problem with complex systems is they make mistakes. Even if they accidentally censor just 1% of posts, that's millions of people. And we've reached a point where it's just too many mistakes and too much censorship. The recent elections also feel like a cultural tipping point towards once again prioritizing speech. So we're going to get back to our roots and focus on reducing mistakes, simplifying our policies, and restoring free expression on our platforms. More specifically, here's what we're going to do. First, we're going to get rid of fact checkers and replace them with community notes similar to X, starting in the US. After Trump first got elected in 2016, the legacy media wrote nonstop about how misinformation was a threat to democracy. We tried in good faith to address those concerns without becoming the arbiters of truth. But the fact checkers have just been too politically biased and have destroyed more trust than they've created, especially in the US. So over the next couple of months, we're going to phase in a more comprehensive community notes system. Second, we're going to simplify our content policies and get rid of a bunch of restrictions on topics like immigration and gender that are just out of touch with mainstream discourse. What started as a movement to be more inclusive has increasingly been used to shut down opinions and shut out people with different ideas, and it's gone too far. So I want to make sure that people can share their beliefs and experiences on our platforms. Third, we're changing how we enforce our policies to reduce the mistakes that account for the vast majority of censorship on our platforms. We used to have filters that scanned for any policy violation. Now, we're going to focus those filters on tackling illegal and high-severity violations. And for lower severity violations, we're going to rely on someone reporting an issue before we take action. The problem is that the filters make mistakes, and they take down a lot of content that they shouldn't. So by dialing them back, we're going to dramatically reduce the amount of censorship on our platforms. We're also going to tune our content filters to require much higher confidence before taking down content. The reality is that this is a trade-off. It means we're going to catch less bad stuff, but we'll also reduce the number of innocent people's posts and accounts that we accidentally take down. Fourth, we're bringing back civic content. For a while, the community asked to see less politics because it was making people stressed. So we stopped recommending these posts. But it feels like we're in a new era now, and we're starting to get feedback that people want to see this content again. So we're going to start phasing this back into Facebook, Instagram, and Threads while working to keep the communities friendly and positive. Fifth, we're going to move our trust and safety and content moderation teams out of California, and our US-based content review is going to be based in Texas. As we work to promote free expression, I think that it will help us build trust to do this work in places where there is less concern about the bias of our teams. Finally, we're going to work with President Trump to push back on governments around the world that are going after American.
Did I just hear Zuckerberg say we're going to work with Donald Trump? Like, am I dreaming? Is this a... It's real. That hurt. It's real. Somebody pinch me is real. I'm gonna let him finish this, but I'm actually shocked. I'm gonna be honest. I'm shocked at what I'm hearing. I don't know if I should be upset or should I be thankful. I'm not sure yet. Let him finish and I'm gonna give commentary. Roll the clip.
Companies and pushing to censor more. The US has the strongest constitutional protections for free expression in the world. Europe has an ever-increasing number of laws institutionalizing censorship and making it difficult to build anything innovative there. Latin American countries have secret courts that can order companies to quietly take things down. China has censored our apps from even working in the country. The only way that we can push back on this global trend is with the support of the US government. And that's why it's been so difficult over the past 4 years when even the US government has pushed for censorship. By going after us and other American companies, it has emboldened other governments to go even further. But now we have the opportunity to restore free expression, and I am excited to take it. It'll take time to get this right, and these are complex systems. They're never going to be perfect. There's also a lot of illegal stuff that we still need to work very hard to remove. But the bottom line is that after years of having our content moderation work focus primarily on removing content, it is time to focus on reducing mistakes, simplifying our systems, and getting back to our roots about giving people voice. I'm looking forward to this next chapter. Stay good out there, and more to come soon. Hey, everyone.
I don't know if I'm mad or I'm excited. It's very weird. Y'all got to understand, people like myself and others have been putting in work tirelessly to make good quality content and focus on exploring and expounded upon truth in the face of so many lies and deception. And we have been shadow banned. We've been telling people we've been shadow banned. They curate our content. We've been knowing this for years, and they lied to us and said it's not happening, and we gaslight and all this stuff. And after so many years, so many people have lost money. So many people have not realized gains that they should have had. Meaning that if they hadn't stifled half of the Republicans, we would probably be making way more money, have way more opportunities on social media platforms. Therefore, we could be more generous and do all kind of other stuff, build teams and build, an entire empire around conservative content. But they stifled us, shadow banned us. I just got off of an Instagram shadow ban just like a week or two ago. I had a 90-day shadow ban because I posted information that they said was fact-checked. Well, at least some of it was wrong with the guy that I hired. Had to fire his sorry self. But outside of that, there was content that I posted that was 100% true. And they fact-checked it anyway and gave me, a negative feedback on it. But I'm also optimistic and glad that Zuckerberg is now turning the corner, because this may actually mean something really great for all the content creators that are conservative. Those of us who have been kicking butt and trying to keep it going for years and years, and we've been consistent, we never gave up. Hopefully it's an opportunity that our stuff get the reach that it deserves, meaning that all the people that follow us get to see the content that they want to see from us instead of blocking political content. He just admitted on the thing that they were blocking political content. I was wondering how I see people on social media and stuff be viral. And I'm like, that video is not even good. And then we talk about something that's incredibly important, that's breaking news, and we get like 200,000 people watching it. So I'm hoping that this is a net positive for the conservative community and the community as a whole. And for him to say they're going to work with Donald Trump is shocking to me. And I guess in addition to that, they also appointed Dana White on the board of Meta, which is also funny. Dana White is probably one of the biggest advocates of free speech, and he don't give a F. And so let's play Dana White's clip. This is, I think, him responding to that. Roll the clip.
About, like, you obviously give a long leash to your fighters about, what they can say when they are up there with a UFC microphone, and you are getting into territory of homophobia, transphobia. Like, is there...
I don't give anybody a leash.
Well, I'm saying you...
A leash?
Like
free speech. I control what people say. Going to tell people what to believe. Going to tell people. I don't tell any other human being what to say, what to think, and there's no leashes on any of them. What is your question?
I was asking that question. I'll move on, though.
Yeah, probably a good idea. That's ridiculous to say I give somebody a leash. Free speech, brother. People can say whatever they want, and they can believe whatever they want.
Now, this is an old clip. I think this is probably back from January of last year. But it speaks to what Dana White stands for, and him being on the board and making sure there's no curated speech is incredibly powerful. And I knew something was coming like this when I saw him at the UFC fight, and he's with fighters and he's hanging around Dana and other conservatives. I knew that Zuckerberg would come across with the hot sauce. I said it in another video. I wish we had the video, that I said that Zuckerberg probably voted for Donald Trump this time. And I also said Jeff Bezos did. I could only imagine. Y'all, sorry for we don't know what's going on with this camera. It keeps blacking out, but just avoid that. As long as y'all can still hear me, I think it's fine. I can't believe Zuckerberg said that, man. I'm trying to move on to the next topic. I can't believe he said it. It's kind of blowing my mind that after all these years, but it's also a good thing that finally they're giving us the opportunity to have free speech. Now, this is going to be a shorter live stream because I got to get a haircut, but I want to jump to this situation, and I know I'm late on this, but I want to make sure I correct the script, because the last time I spoke about this, I was inaccurate. Because I, with the information that I had, believed that both of the attacks on January 1st were both terrorist attacks and they were co-equally related, meaning that they both went to Fort Bragg and all this other stuff, and we thought they were related. But since then, and I hadn't made a video about it, although the information has come out, that they're now saying that they had nothing to do with one another, and that the dude, Matthew, that blew up the Tesla it's a lot of stuff going on here. We'll get to all of it. But the guy, Matthew, who blew up the Tesla at the Trump Tower, Trump Hotel, that he actually did it to wake up America to the corruption of the government, and not necessarily because he believed in Al-Qaeda and Allah Akbar like the other idiot. It was kind of coincidental because they were both on January 1st and they both appear to be acts of terror. But I want to just give a little bit of information about this gentleman. I don't know if I respect him. I don't know. I don't know what to believe when it comes to some of this stuff, because I don't think it's ever a real reason to kill yourself, blow up and hurt people and all this other stuff. There's no reason to do that. You could do that from your house. So this gentleman, Matthew, is 37 years old. He was a Green Beret, which is not just anybody could be a Green Beret, right? I mean, I think that's probably the most elite tactical unit in the entire world is the Green Beret. Maybe the CIA got some other stuff they do, but the Green Beret is pretty significant. And he was identified as the suspect in the Tesla Cybertruck explosion outside of Trump International Hotel on January 1st. Prior to the incident, allegedly sent an email to retired U.S. Army intelligence officer Sam Shoemate detailing concerns about advanced drone technology and alleging war crimes. Shoemate discussed this email on the Sean Ryan show and on his podcast hosted by the Navy SEAL, a retired Navy SEAL, but once you're a Navy SEAL, you're always a Navy SEAL, Sean Ryan. So I want to play that clip of Sean Ryan in this interview. So I don't know who's in trouble. There are people that are saying that Sean Ryan is in hiding now after exposing this stuff. I don't know if that's true. I highly doubt it. Also, there's people are saying that the Green Beret, Matthew, didn't do it, and that the dental work didn't match the DNA of him. And I don't know what to believe, right? I mean, they say that the guy, he was shot in the head before the explosion. So it's simple. You can shoot some random person in the head, make it auto drive, set all your credentials in there, and then they think you dead. You didn't say you died. They just perceive that you died because the information is there. Although the dental work and the DNA don't match, you could put the random person there, shoot them in the head, and then auto drive the car to there and let it blow up on a timer. I don't know, man. People saying it ain't him, but we shall see. Roll the clip.
But well, it started off as comments. So when you have a big Instagram account, you're going to miss a lot of messages because people message, go to hidden messages and everything else. You miss a lot of stuff. Well, I kept seeing this comment on recent posts that I put in there, and it was from this burner account that said, hey, check your DMs, check your DMs, check your DMs. So I go in there and try to find it. There's no message from this guy, hadn't come through or whatever. And then he messages again once that message was opened up. And I said, hey, your previous messages haven't come through. What do you want to tell me? And he said, what I'm going to send you, now these are literally his words. What I'm going to send you is going to change the course of humanity. That was his phrase, change the course of humanity. Okay. A little bit dramatic. I get these messages all the time. People have this big story they want to tell. They want to expose their command, whatever. I take everything with a grain of salt until I have evidence and proof. So this guy is insistent. He tells me that he is a 18 Zulu who I've spoken to before, and he really needs to get this stuff to me. And then he talks about you. He says, I need you to get me in contact with Sean Ryan. I'm like, dude, I don't know Sean Ryan. I'm not that big, but he's insistent that I get him diverted to media sources, says go to Fox News, whatever else. And I said, all right, tell me what you got. So I give him my Proton email account, give him my signal number, and he reaches out immediately. And I'm going to read this initial message for you because this doesn't have names or anything else on it, but this was his message on Sunday. He reached out and said, like I said, this last Sunday, he said, sending with a VPN active on Wi-Fi only. Do not message me. I will send out updates via both Signal and email, but trust me, you're going to want to be involved. Well, first of all, no, I didn't want to be involved. Anyways, and then, so I didn't message. I responded back to his original Instagram message, and I said, hey, I got your message on Proton Mail, and he said, cool, delete this. So I deleted it. That's how I ended up getting this message on Tuesday. So the message that this right here, this manifesto, if you want to call it that, came in on Tuesday. And when I started reading this, My initial take was, okay, this is off the deep end. It's bonkers. I can't validate or verify any of the stuff in this manifesto.
Mm-hmm.
And I told him that in a subsequent email. And I'll read that to you later, my response to him. And once again, my response to him elicited, hey, get me in contact with Sean Ryan, Fox News, and he even said Pete Hegseth. Get me in contact with Hegseth. And I'm like, dude, I don't have the incoming Secretary of Defense's phone number. Sorry, bro. That's the last time I talked to him. So yesterday morning.
What date was that?
That was Tuesday. That was this Tuesday. So we're Friday now. That was 3 days ago.
So
the day before.
30th?
Yeah, the day before the attack. I dismissed this stuff out of hand.
The 31st. It was on the 31st.
Yes. In fact, I posted something on my... I told your producer about this as well. But this was a post I made on Twitter. I was just trying to be humorous, off the cuff. It was... I didn't mean anything about it. I was just being humorous for my audience. I said, my inbox was especially eventful today. Allegations of war crimes, government anti-gravity technology, and fears about being tracked and watched by the feds. It's always, the world is ending and I have this information that needs to get to the media, and never, how you doing, brother? Everything all right? I was just playing off of a meme.
Mm-hmm.
It was just supposed to be a joke. That was the body of his email that he sent me. And I didn't think anything about it. I didn't know who Matt Berg was, Matt Livelsberg, or anything else. He told me who he was in the email. He pointed me to his LinkedIn account. I didn't know any of this stuff. And I was just kind of being humorous with my audience. Like, I get these crazy messages sometime. And then the day after that message, I wake up and my buddy was like, hey, Sam, nobody in the community seems to know this guy. Do you happen to know who he is? And I played that for you before we came up here. Just absolute shock. That's how I woke up yesterday.
Do you want to play it now?
Yeah. Excuse my language. I was.
So y'all see how far this is going. It's a little bit more time on the clip, which I think is necessary for us to go through exhaustively. But that's pretty interesting thus far, because I get messages like this all the time. People do the same thing to me. I need to talk to President Trump. I'm like, bruh, first of all, I have no idea who you are. And I don't know Donald Trump enough to get you a conversation with him. And if I did know Donald Trump, how am I going to prove that you worth a dime, right? You're going to talk to Donald Trump and just want a picture with him and something, make my reputation go downhill. But it does make me feel like if somebody's saying this, maybe I should read them, because it could be somebody that's articulating something important. Roll the clip.
Definitely in shock. Let me find this chat. So,
While you're digging through that, you know what we should do? I should get that Instagram account from you to see if they messaged any of our Instagram accounts. And we should also get that email
I don't have
address.
it. I deleted it.
You deleted it.
He told me to delete it, and I deleted it.
Okay.
Yeah.
We should also get that email address and see if they sent it in through the website, and see if he tried to contact us. Get that to the FBI.
So I'm in a military.
Hopefully they actually do something.
Yeah, I'm in a military group chat. Buddy Green Beret, Corey, he says, at Sam. Nobody I've asked in the community knows him. You is at 8:46 a.m. yesterday. So I woke up and I said, oh, I'm shaking. This guy emailed me 2 days ago. I'm not playing. And then he said, and then this was my response to him at 8:48. Like, just woke up.
Dude, I'm shaking, bro. You don't understand. This guy emailed me and told me he was being watched by the FBI and Homeland Security, but they weren't going to do anything to him because he had a V-bid. I'm not playing, dude. I have the email. I am shaking, man. This is nuts.
And it goes from there. And I sat there for probably an hour talking to my wife. I'm shaking. I can't even think straight. Like, normal day is shot, and I didn't know what I want to do. Do I sit on this? Do I do nothing with it? I've got to tell somebody. I've got to tell the FBI at least, because this is huge. This is all over the news. And then I was like, well, dude, this guy wanted to get in contact with Sean Ryan, so let me get this to Sean Ryan, see if I can get with him. And I had a buddy who knew your producer, and we went from there. But
Wow. Do you want to read the email?
Yep. So this email came in on December 31st at 10:42 a.m. That is Tuesday. He said, in case I do not make it to my decision point or onto the Mexico border, I am sending this now. Please do not release this until 1 January and keep my identity private until then. First off, I am not under duress or hostile influence or control. My first car was a 2006 black Ford Mustang V6 for verification. What we have been seeing with drones, he puts that in quotes, he says drones, is the operational use of gravitic propulsion systems powered aircraft by most recently China and the East Coast, but throughout history, the US. Only we in China have this capability. Our OPSEN, that's Operations Center, our OPSEN location for this activity is in the box below. China has been launching them from the Atlantic from submarines for years, but this activity recently has picked up. As of now, it is just a show of force, and they are using it similar to how they used the balloon for SIGINT and ISR, which are also part of the integrated comms system. There are dozens of those balloons in the air at any given time. The so what is because of the speed and stealth of these unmanned aircraft. They are the most dangerous threat to national security that has ever existed. They basically have an unlimited payload capacity and can park it over the White House if they wanted. It's checkmate. U.S. government needs to give the history of this, how we are employing it and weaponizing it, how China is employing them and what the way forward is. China is poised to attack anywhere in the East Coast. I've been followed for over a week now from likely Homeland or FBI, and they are looking to move on me and are unlikely going to let me cross into Mexico, but won't because they know I am armed and I have a massive VBID. Let me pause right there for a second. So he says a massive VBID. When I was talking to the FBI yesterday, they didn't know what a VBID was. I had to explain what that acronym meant, literally.
You serious?
Dead serious. I said it twice and he goes, you said that word VBID. Can you tell me what that is? For your audience, a VBID, for your audience who has not been in the GWOT for the last 20 years, a VBID is a vehicle-borne improvised explosive device. In layman's terms, a car bomb, what we saw at Trump Tower. So, backing up, he says, I am armed and have a massive VBID. I've been trying to maintain a very visible profile and have kept my phone, and they are definitely digitally tracking me. Here's where he gets into the other stuff, and this is where we had to redact the names. Well, your producer redacted the names. I have knowledge of this program and also war crimes that were covered up during airstrikes in Nimruz province, Afghanistan in 2019 by the admin, DOD, DEA, and CIA. I conducted targeting for these strikes of over 125 buildings. 65 were struck because of civcas, that's civilian casualties, that killed hundreds of civilians in a single day. U.S. FORA continued strikes after spotting civilians on initial ISR. It was supposed to take 6 minutes and scramble all aircraft in CENTCOM. The UN basically called these war crimes, but the administration made them disappear. I was part of that cover-up with U.S. FORA, an agent, redacted, of the DEA. So I don't know if my abduction attempt is related to either. I worked with, redacted, IO staff on this as well as the response to Bala Murghab. Redacted commander at the time, redacted, can validate this. You need to elevate this to the media so we avoid a world war because this is a mutually assured destruction situation. Then he says, for vetting, my LinkedIn is Matt Berg or Matthew Livelsberger, an active duty 18 Zulu out of 110, that's 1st Battalion 10th Special Forces Group. My profile is public. I have an active TSSCI with UAP, USAP access.
What is USAP? Do you know what that is?
I don't know what that is. But I checked his credentials on LinkedIn. So that was the first thing I did. I went to his LinkedIn page. First thing I noticed was all of his bona fides were in place. He has all the UAS training from USASOC and everything else. And so I said, okay, at least the guy knows what he's talking about with drones. That was a very rough dig into the guy. But my issue was I couldn't validate or verify any of this information. And I told him that. And how I responded to him was in a subsequent email. I said, this is obviously a very big deal, but I don't have anything to verify this information with. Talking about gravitic propulsion systems without evidence just makes me another UFO talking head. Like, I'm not going to go on my social media page and start talking about UFOs and anti-gravity systems and everything. I don't know what you're talking about. I can't. And he said, can I get on Fox News Contact on Signal as well as Sean's show? Hegseth would be good too. That was his last message to me.
Wow.
Yeah.
You know, the thing is, what is a gravitic propulsion system?
To be honest with you, it is a fancy term you're going to find in science fiction. You won't find it in any, as far as I know, you won't find this in any kind of official manual or, scientific research. This is all science fiction. So But what struck me is his use, what strikes me now, not then, but what strikes me now is his use of a very specific term that nobody else call it. If you asked me, I would say an anti-gravity propulsion system. That's how I would describe it, because I don't know this stuff. He said gravitic propulsion system.
All right, so that's I didn't want to go too long on that, man. We need to take his whole content. Go watch the full interview on Sean Ryan's podcast. We could probably get you guys that link. Just keep an eye out for my barber when you get here. So, yeah, that was pretty interesting. So it appears that this guy who did the Trump hotel thing wasn't an Al-Qaeda person. But there's a lot of other questions behind this, because obviously I watched this documentary. It's not documentary. It was a movie. I watched this movie series. It's fiction, right? It's called A Bodyguard on Netflix. Crazy movie. It was about this bodyguard that fought in the war. He was from the UK, right? The British. Mum. They go mum. They call women mums. I guess they mean ma'am, but they say mum. Insanely silly to me. But anyway, in this movie, the guy's a bodyguard that fought in the military on behalf of the United Kingdom, and he obviously had PTSD and everything. He was in Afghanistan, all of that. He ended up being selected as the bodyguard to a politician who was a warmonger, right? So it was kind of a conflict of interest. I want you to go see it, because I'm not going to tell you the rest of it, but in that, you see the deception and conspiracies within the government at epic proportions. Now, I know it's a movie, but in my opinion, it's alluding to real issues that go on in our government. Setups, creating fake narratives, false flags. I mean, I think all of these things are real. Are they real in every situation that people say they are? I don't believe so. However, it wouldn't be weird for this guy to be a fall guy, right? He claims that he knows all this stuff. They kill a guy, run him in there, blow it up, put his credentials in the car. He said he was followed. Come on. They probably set him up. Who knows? Or he faked his death. He put somebody else in the car and did all that. I mean, I'm not really sure. People like that are Green Berets are very tactically inclined. I would argue, unless we have some type of government actions that supersede our understanding of knowledge and technology, or our understanding and knowledge of technology, unless they got something like that, you ain't going to get a Green Beret and trap him and do something. He probably 5-6 steps ahead of you. So maybe he wanted to make a point. Maybe he knew he was going to go down for what had happened, and he said, I'm going to end it this way and tell the world about it. I don't know, but I think it's very interesting. Tell me what you guys think in the comment section. Do you believe that it was him, sent the email, he took his life to make an example? Or do you think it wasn't him? He put somebody else in the car, made it seem like it was himself so he can escape, right? He could escape persecution, go live in another country. Or do you think they set him up and now he the fall guy for everything that happened overseas and stuff, right? Or he's this radical lunatic, so nobody's going to believe what he say, even though everything he say could be true. Put it in the comment section. Let me know what you think about that. I got two other things. I may do it after the show. Yeah, I don't know when he's gonna come to the warehouse. Let's see. Let's talk about Stephen A. Smith real quick. I think we can do Stephen A. Smith real quick. Stephen A. Smith slams Trump's sentence hearing, claiming it's all politicized. Stephen A., welcome to America. Okay, I don't know what gravitic propulsion system you've been flying on in outer space somewhere, but But I want to play this clip because I like showing him with his transformation into conservatism, even though he denied for so long. But I like to see somebody that's on their side or was on their side confess to the truth about what we've been saying the whole time. Roll the clip.
President-elect Donald Trump is trying to stop his sentencing Friday in New York related to his conviction in the hush money case. You may recall Trump was convicted in May of 34 felony counts of falsifying business records related to a hush money payment to adult film star Stormy Daniels in 2016. Here's a portion of the motion that Trump's attorneys filed yesterday to the court. Quote, the court should vacate the sentencing hearing scheduled for January 10th, 2025, and suspend all further details, or further deadlines, rather, in the case until President Trump's immunity appeals are fully and finally resolved, end quote. See, you might be surprised with what I have to say about this. This is the kind of stuff that just validates assertions about stuff being politicized. Maybe not specifically with Trump, but the suspicion definitely is there. What is the purpose of this? Is he going to jail? Is he going to jail? You going to get a fine? We got to sit up there and go through all the pomp and circumstance when you know you're not going to do anything. He was certified today as the next president of the United States of America. Come January 21st, he will be sworn in as the 47th president of the United States of America. But you want to sentence him. You're Juan Merchan. Who is he? The state Supreme Court justice in New York. You want to sentence him next Friday. And by the way, what is the sentencing about? Because see, we got to be real about it. We just got to be real about it. 34 felony counts. It sounds very, very damaging. It's a hush money case. Essentially, the case against Donald Trump is that he is alleged to have engaged in relations with a former porn star, and he made efforts involving finances to keep her mouth shut. That's what all of this is about. You know what some people said to me when they were talking about this? They said, could you please tell me what's the difference between this and somebody signing an NDA? I don't know the answer to these questions. I'm just telling you what people's thought process is. And when something like this happens, even after he has won the election, even after he has been certified, even though this was before he was certified in terms of the judge's opinion that he was going to give a sentencing next Friday, the point is why? Just like Attorney General Alvin Bragg in New York talking about, hey, you know something? The case should still be heard. We should treat him as if he's deceased, for crying out loud. So you can have the sentencing. It's on the books. Why? That's going to validate everything for you? Did you get him? Did you put him in jail? Did you prevent him from winning the election? No, you did not. So now all you're doing is further impugning the name of the president-elect, soon to be the 47th president of the United States. Doesn't involve any jail time, doesn't prevent him from being in office, doesn't prevent him from signing anything in the law. Damn sure didn't prevent him from helping Mike Johnson win Speaker of the House the other day. Of course, they'll say stuff about the judge. They'll say it was...
All right, Stephen A., you've been talking way too long on my show, okay? So, but what I will contribute to this conversation is that, of course, we all knew it was politicized. Of course, we all knew that they tried to do all of this leading up to the election, hoping that he would lose. The people aren't having it. When their money is acting funny and the change is a little strange, they're going to pick another person to run the country. It has been historically that case, I think, almost every single president. I told my wife this, and she was like, how do you know this? I said, because I heard a person say this, that every single presidential change or change of leadership happened when the economy was bad. And we could say that 2020, in part, it was bad economy. It was COVID, and everybody was losing their job and everything was going south. So people decide to pick another leader in the face of economic crisis. And so this is no different. But the bottom line is that Stephen A. made a good point in articulating very clearly that what are we talking about? 34 felonies. Somebody said it was something on Instagram. I was just scrolling through, and they go, see, he was 34 felonies, and I got felonies, and I can't get a job, but he can be the president. Well, all felonies aren't created equal. Just in case you've been smoking crack all day and you don't realize that. A person getting felonies for murder, felony crime for attempted murder, felony crimes for aggravated assault, being physically violent with somebody, that's a different felony than saying that you put money over here to hide that you paid money over here to conceal the fact you had an affair. Like, really? Really? And I think that there should be consequences for old girl, because if you signed an NDA, you can't violate the NDA. I almost believe that if you signed the NDA and they could prove that you signed the NDA outside of coercion, then you cannot bring criminal charges against anybody for any reason. Even if somebody committed a crime behind an NDA, I think it's inadmissible in court. You technically sign a promise that you would not disclose this information. Therefore, it's non-disclosable. And therefore, you can't use any of that information that you have outside of an NDA against the person unless you were coerced to sign an NDA. I don't know how that's even possible. You tell a person, I agree that I'm going to sleep with you and I'm going to keep it a secret. And we're going to sign a document into court, a court document, civil court document that says that I'm going to not say anything. And then for money, fame, and to destroy the character of a person, you violate that NDA that you just signed and say you wouldn't do it. Because she did not participate in the affair. She did not take the money. She took the hush money. She is a willing participant in the process. So to be honest, if Donald Trump is getting indicted for manipulating finances in order to pay her to shut her up, she should be indicted too for taking money that she knew was to shut her up while signing the NDA, while acknowledging the fact that it was nefarious the way they did it. She is a part of the conspiracy to defraud whoever they claim is the victim in this case. I don't understand why we can't just keep it real with these things. Donald Trump getting 34 felony charges isn't the same as somebody raping somebody. Isn't the same as somebody violating somebody's rights, imprisoning somebody, kidnapping somebody. False imprisonment is the issue. Or somebody, 34 felony crimes for home invasion. There's different felony crimes for different felonious situations. Stevie Wonder can see it. Anyway, I think my barber's probably here at this point. I got to go down there and get a haircut, but y'all stay tuned. I'm going to make a couple videos for later that you can watch. Also, thank y'all for joining the Tatum Squad. We're rolling out some new stuff with the Tatum Squad. So if you want to join the Tatum Squad, I think it's like $4.99 a month. You can join it. You get emojis. You also get all the videos that we post before anybody else. So if you're a part of the Tatum Squad membership, you'll do that. And we have special discounts. We're going to stop giving everybody the great discounts. We're only going to give the people who are in the Tatum Squad the great discounts. Now, we'll still have discounts for you. Right now, we got one on Tatum Store. Let me look at it. I'm going to find it real quick, and I'm going to tell it to you guys. And let's see. New product announcement. Is it in this? What chat is it in? New product announcement. Is it the Seal 31? Seal 22? It's two of them. Okay. What is the 20% one? I can't see. What is it? Seal 20, SEAL. Yeah. Okay. All right, for you guys. Let's see. I gotta say it right because I'm gonna give. Well, I'll put it on there. 20% off of the Tatum Store. Seal 20, SEAL 20. That's for everybody else. And then I'm going to give a special discount for the people who are on the Tatum Squad, and it's going to be a lot more than 20% off, all right? And I just want to show y'all love and support and try to do something for the people that support me in a greater way. Not saying that you don't support me because you're not on the Tatum Squad. I love you too. But people who decide to be, the invest in that, I want to do something special for you. So people that are part of the Tatum Squad, all you got to do is click the join button. You can join the Tatum Squad. You get special emojis. We're going to start doing a special live stream for people who are in the Tatum Squad, and all of our videos that we put out, the people in the Tatum Squad, they get to see the videos first. So if we put a video out and we're not going to post it for another couple days, if we do it, we'll put it out available for y'all to watch it and be entertained by it, and then everybody else can see it later. Also, we're going to start doing members-only chat. So when we do the live stream, we do the show, we're going to have a time dedicated for people who are just members to be able to only engage in the chat. And if you want to join the membership, you can do it. If you don't have to. I love you anyway, and I'm sure you love me, okay? Anyway, I love you guys. I got to get my hair cut. I'll be back with some videos later. God bless you. I'm out.
Oh, the land of the free and the home of the brave. I'm a proud American.